Question 1. Patricia invested this much in 3 unit trusts. She divided the money into 3 different unit trust accounts P, Q and R. At the end of the year, she obtained a profit of this much. The annual dividends for these accounts are 4, 5.5 and 6%. Final amount of account P, okay. So what we can do is, we imagine she has 3 accounts. Account P, account Q and account R. So altogether, the amount she invested is 24,500. So what we can do is, to make our life easier, we name this, the amount she invested in the account P, we just call it P lah. So we can say P plus Q plus R is 24,500. These are all the amounts she invested. Okay, total, all 3, if we champo, we will get 24,500. Okay, and then they said she obtained a profit of 1,300. Okay, so profit, I use different color lah. So profit is this much. She got profit of 4% from account P. So 4% from P plus 5.5% of Q plus 6% of R, the total profit she got is 1,300. Okay, so what we can do is, instead of writing it in fractions, right, it'll be easier if we convert this to decimals. So 4% will be 0.04. So this one, I write it as 0.04. And 5.5 will be 0.055. 6% would be 0.06. So this will be our second equation. And the third equation, they said the final, actually there is a typo in your textbook. Okay, it's not final amount, it's the amount of money in account P is 4 times that in account Q. So I only realized this after I solved the whole question just now, and then I didn't get the answer. So it's not final amount lah. Final amount means the principal plus the interest. But if you do that, you don't get the answer. Then I realized this one is actually a typo. Okay, so actually this is supposed to be the initial amount. Initial amount means how much you deposited in account P lah. So the amount of money in account P is 4 times that in account Q. So equals to 4Q. So this will be our third equation. That's it. The third equation is quite simple. Right. So now let's clean it up a bit. We write it properly. So P plus Q. Now let's try to solve this. So this is equation 1, 2 and 3. Right. So what I can see from here is equation 3 is quite straightforward. So what we can do is, we can sub this into equation 2 and 1. So we can say sub equation 3 into 1, and then we can sub equation 3 into 2. So if you sub P equals to 4Q into here, we will get 4Q plus Q plus R is 24,500. And then if we sub this into here, we will get 0.04 P, which is 4Q lah, plus 0.055 Q plus 0.06 R equals to 1,300. Okay, basically I just sub the P with 4Q. Right, now we try to simplify this. So 4Q plus Q will become 5Q plus R is 24,500. So maybe we can make R the subject lah. So later we can sub it. Minus 5Q. Alright. Done. Here we times this. So 0.04 times 4, we get 0.16q, or we can just add straight away. So we plus this one 0.055, we get 0.215q plus 0.06r equals to 1300. This will be our second equation. Okay, so we can call this equation 4 and equation 5. So now we are down to two unknowns only, q and r, q and r. Right. So what we can do is, since we know r is equal to this, we can sub this into this r. So the next step would be 0.215q plus 0.06r. So r is 24500 minus 5q equals to 1300. Okay, I just took all this and put it into this r. Right. Now we can expand and simplify. Zero 0.06 times 24500, 1470. 0.06 times 5, we get 0.3q equals to 1300. All right. Now the q's we can minus off. So we'll get 0.215 minus 0.3 is negative 0.085. And then the 1470, I bring it that side. So 1300 minus 1470, negative 170. Therefore, q will be negative 170 divided by this. So q is 2000. Done. So now we know she invested 2000 into account Q. So we can find account P, because this is 2000, so account P will be 4 times the amount lah. So you can say P is 4 of Q, so 8000. Now that we have P and Q, you can sub it into the first or second equation to find R. First equation looks simpler lah. So total PQR will be 24,500, right? So we can say P plus Q plus R, 24,500. Therefore, R will be 24,500 minus P minus Q. 24500 minus P minus Q. She put 14,500 into account R. Right. So in conclusion, we can say P is RM 8000, Q is RM 2000, R equals to RM 14,500. But in exam, if you don't write the RM also, it's fine lah. In admaths, they're not so strict about the units. Right, but it's just like neater lah. You know what you're doing. Okay, so this will be the answer for question 1. That's it.